So we're here in Tibet, and you can see Mount Everest right behind us here. Kyla and I entered Tibet at the base of the Himalayan mountains through Nepal. Once we were over the border, we caught a bus that would take us all the way to Lhasa over the course of 5 days. We climbed 2,000 meters on the first day, traveling through windy, bitter cold towns. The roads were just big enough for 2 cars, winding around the edge of mountains. While we took turns on the oxygen tank, drank plenty of water, and made sure that our exhausted and overheated bus got water too, we did manage to make it to Lhasa. But the chance of a landslide around every corner definitely kept us on our toes. I mean, check out this one. It takes up half the road. Overall, though, the roads were pretty quiet, except for an occasional tractor, or a ridiculously large flock of sheep fighting for their right-of-way, or the local yak, which I don't know if you can see them out there, but those little black things, yep, those are yak. And as we traveled through the local villages, we started to realize just how much these shaggy-haired ox play an important role in Tibetan life. Locals are warmed by yak dung fires, they're lit by yak butter lamps, they eat yak meat, drink yak blood, and they even make their clothing, blankets, and shelter out of yak hair. And what we found even more interesting was their staple drink, Butter Yak Tea.
Hi, we're back in the Tibetan kitchen in Lhasa, Tibet. We are with Lamo. And what's your name?
My name is Pema.
Pema. Yes. Lamo and Pema, and they're going to teach us how to make butter yak tea from Tibet. So first we put the salt in the water, right? Yeah. And then now you put the butter.
Yeah. And also then we put some black tea.
You put some black tea?
Yes. That will take few minutes.
Then you stir it up with the high-tech Tibetans have this electric blender. So basically the main ingredient in butter tea is what you'd guess, butter. So it's very low in calories. I'm kidding. It's very high in calories. We're trying to stay away from it as much as possible. We have to get in our swimming suits after this from Bali, so anyway, we're blending the butter in the salted water. Do you put milk in the tea?
Yes. Some people put just if food or not put is okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we put.
And that's the butter tea. Just some nice creamy.
Yeah.
Goodness. Can you try it?
Yeah.
This is my first cup of butter tea in Tibet. My 8th day in Tibet. So here it goes. Interesting, very good. Very good. Dodiche.
Once we made it to Lhasa, our first stop was the Potala Palace, which is the highest palace in the world and was the chief residence of the Dalai Lama. It was absolutely incredible to observe the monks in prayer. Our next stop was Barker Square, a public square located around the Jokong Temple. Many Tibetans will go on a long pilgrimage to visit this temple as it is the most famous temple in all of Lhasa. Oh, and while you're probably wondering what those people are doing down there, let's take a closer look. Some pilgrims travel with their prayer wheels in hand, some murmuring mantras as they walk, and some actually walk in prayer for their entire journey. And then once they reach the temple, they continue to pray for, well, a long time. Every time we passed the square, we would stand there watching them. They would raise their hands over their head, lower them to their chest, kneel down, and then thrust their body forward. If they came from the mountains on their pilgrimage, they would affix wood panels to their elbows and knees for protection. We were actually able to talk to some of these inspirational locals, and one of them was even nice enough to point us in the direction of a local tea house, Gumjun.
Hey, we heard about this local joint called Gumjun. Here's one of the locals now. Anyway, we're going to go have a cup of tea. Hang out with the locals. Our afternoon in the Tibetan tea house was warm, inviting, and we felt right at home. Once you walked in the doors, we noticed all the locals gathered around on picnic tables, playing cards and sharing stories about the day. Tibetans typically don't use heaters indoors, but what they do to keep warm in the below freezing temperatures is spend hours of the day at the local tea house. Once we got a cup for ourselves, we definitely understood why. For the equivalent of about 8 cents, it gets you a delicious cup of sweet tea or the traditional Butter Yak Tea. You simply put your money in the middle of the table, there's no ordering or lines involved, and a woman makes circuits around the room, refilling your cup until your money's gone. For hours, we drank at the tea house on less than $1. People are so nice and inviting. We got asked to join some college students from Lhasa, and Hugh Moja was the president of the welcoming committee. She was adorable. She introduced us to all of her friends, taught us how to play some cards, and after a couple of hours of swapping stories of life in America versus life in Tibet, we called it a night with our new friends, and they walked us home. Tibet can be a chilly place to visit, but at the same time, it has the warmest of people. All aboard! We got our coffees in hand and we're heading to Bali.